This program is brought to you by the Stanford Humanities Center. For more information, please visit us at shc.stanford.edu.
Enchanting the Desert influences the field of cultural geography and also of art history in, I think, a really interesting way, which is that it brings together two ways of representing and viewing landscapes and viewing space. Enchanting the Desert is the revival of a photographic slideshow made by Henry Peabody in around 1900. With the slideshow, we see a clear, surviving, beautiful photographic portrait of the Grand Canyon at the very end of that pioneer era before it turned over into a massive tourism era. These photographs were made serially and were sold and intended to be used as a slideshow for viewers across the United States. Enchanting the Desert is the digital revival, meaning that it allows users to interact with the photographs and explore what they're looking at, and it makes a geography of the slideshow, meaning that users can know where they're standing in this slideshow.
Enchanting the Desert, for an historian, from one perspective, provides a very clear and coherently organized archive of a particular moment in time and a particular mode of representation.
In Enchanting the Desert, readers have other options of navigating, not just by landmark, but predictably perhaps also by photograph. So you can come to what's called photo modules and click there, and then you're given a list of all the photographs in the slideshow. These are the original order that Peabody would have showed his slides in. Readers have the option of turning on or off a tinted image of this photograph. They can also turn on and off trail information. There are about 50 essays associated with this project, each of them relatively short, but that add up to a significant body of originally made and researched essays about the slideshow, the history of photography at the Grand Canyon, and individual places. What the geography of Peabody's slideshow really shows us is that the Grand Canyon is made up of actually thousands of places. Each place or landmark in that vision that you're looking at is not just the Grand Canyon, but a specific piece of it with its own human history and cultural history and specific meaning attached to that place. It's especially hard to find information about the mining history of the Grand Canyon that focuses on the places in that story. In this project, I find myself reading really broadly, kind of grabbing armfuls of books and just going through them looking for mentions of place names, building the stories around those.
It's not just how did Peabody represent space, but how did the broader public come to know and come to have an idea of what that space was like. And that would, of course, include the kinds of names that were given to the monuments and the kind of rhetoric that goes along with that.
Ironically, in some ways, this is a digital humanities project that started by poring over paper maps, looking for any textual clues or topographical clues that might help me answer this sort of first basic step question of the project, which is, where was the photographer standing?
We want to combine seeing the photo and seeing where it is and seeing the history behind it all at once, so that it's easier for the user to really gain all the different meanings behind the photo.
Here you can see a reader has immediate access to this story about Francois Mathis Point, who is the first topographical cartographer of the Grand Canyon. And then you can actually, while reading about how he made the map with the plane table and the viewfinder alidade technology, you can actually look at the map, a digital scan of the original map, which is held here at Branner Library on campus. So it's really bringing these historical documents in communication with one another.
I'm a musician, so I really enjoy the aspect of interpretation. They're pretty vastly different things, learning to code and interpreting artistic works. But what's really cool about this project is you can use both of them to create this end project that uses the coding to help people interpret the works.
As it's developed here at Stanford, spatial history means paying attention to space, distance, patterns, movement through space as a category for historical analysis. Enchanting the Desert pushes beyond the use of a single tool. It pushes beyond a kind of single perspective on space.
As I move chronologically through the slideshow, I'm shown on the map where Peabody was and what is visible in all those photographs through these viewshed maps. Another thing you can do with this map is turn on what's called a heat map slider. And this heat map is essentially a composite viewshed map of the entire slideshow.
One of the most exciting developments in Enchanting the Desert has been its placement as one of the first digital publications that will be supported by Stanford University Press. And this was a dream that many of us here in the Center for Spatial and Textual Analysis had. And I think it's also fair to say it's a dream that many working in the digital humanities more broadly all around the world have. That is, finding ways to convey the knowledge and the content that's being developed in these digital projects to a broad worldwide audience, but doing it through traditional venues.
One of the fascinating questions that has emerged from Enchanting the Desert is this question about, in the context of the last 150 years, have maps replaced photographs as visual truth tellers? So in the 19th century, it was believed that photographs couldn't lie. If you saw a picture of something, it must have been true. We know now, of course, that there have been leagues of critiques against that notion. We're all visually literate and know that photographs don't tell the truth all the time.